you have Africans in high positions of power who are not even willing to give you a look, not willing to meet you for a coffee.
In today's video, I stumbled upon a thought-provoking video that was shared to me on Instagram that delves into a controversial topic, whether Africans abroad generally do not help each other. Intrigued by the different responses I got on my Instagram page and also on the Travel to Nigeria Instagram page, I felt compelled to share with the YouTube community, many of you that are in the diaspora, for an open dialogue. I'll be presenting to you the full video along with insights of a poll result that I conducted on Instagram, where I asked viewers whether or not they believed this assertion is true or not. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you aren't already, so that you can join in on future discussions. Additionally, I'll be sharing some comments left by the community, inviting you also to pause immediately after the full video is played to share your own immediate reaction or personal experiences in relation to this. Don't worry, I'll be sharing mine too. After we dissected the video together, I'm eager to dive into a crucial discussion. How Africans new to the diaspora, how can they effectively seek and gain support, particularly in their careers, from the African community? Your tips and insights will be valuable, so please leave them in the comments. Without further ado, let me play the video.
Africans don't help each other. We don't. You have Africans in high positions of power in the United Nations here in Switzerland, in private sector. In Switzerland, for example, United Nations particularly. I remember when I just joined the United Nations, I was an intern. I'd reach out to people from Nigeria, from Zimbabwe, like try to set up meetings just to meet them. It was only one guy, only one man who was a high-ranking man in the United Nations, and he had the time to meet us for like 20 minutes. And this is the experience echoed by other young Africans. They're like, I reach out to people, they never give me the time of day. You have in Switzerland, you have Africans in banks, in consulting, in United Nations, everywhere. They just don't want to talk to you. They just don't want to give you the time of day. And then you wonder why, Africans are at bottom. How can you rise to the top when your representative who is there is not even willing to give you some insight, not willing to open the door for you, rather closing the door even more for you? So it's so fucking strange and so fucking hectic, because you have Africans in high positions of power who are not even willing to give you a look, not willing to meet you for a coffee. I met one guy online. I was like, hey, listen, you're Nigerian, I'm Nigerian. You are in the trading space. I want to just have a quick conversation with you. And all he wrote to me was, oh, my time, I don't have any. I'm like, brother, it's 10 minutes. We can do it online. We don't even have to meet. Like, oh no, my time, we can meet you. My time, I don't have any. I'm like, really, dude? You don't have 10 minutes for me? Even if it's 3 weeks down the road, you don't have 10 minutes online call for me? And this is a sentiment that is echoed by a lot of young Africans that are just trying to find their way into the spaces, and it's not unheard of, at all, you see. And it's sad. It's really sad. It is truly sad. And I'm trying to figure out what can I do with my own access, with the little I have, to give other young Africans a chance to have access to these spaces, because it is very important. Because how can you rise, especially when you're abroad? How can you have access to certain spaces when the people that are already there are not willing to give you some time? It makes no sense,
Okay, watching that video, I want you guys to take a moment, pause this video, and actually share your own initial reaction to this. Like whether it's an experience you had or feelings around this. Like, please, I want to see your comments. Doesn't have to be long, can be long if you want it to be. With that said, I want to share my own first reaction when I first watched that video. It immediately reminded me of an incident when I was in business school. So I went to business school in France, I went to INSEAD, and I remember towards the end of my MBA degree, I tried to reach out to a Nigerian lady. She's an alumni, and I was sort of trying to go into a space that she was in, and I reached out to her very politely, complimenting her and asking her for 5-10 minutes just to make sure I was on the right path in a way. Unfortunately, her response to me was actually quite cold, shutting me out to even have a dialogue. I couldn't help but feel disappointed, to be honest. All I wanted was guidance as to the path I was taking. In that moment, I won't lie to you, I would jump and say, say, yes, Africans don't help one another. However, with time, I come to the realization that things are not so clear-cut. And we need to give grace at times to people because we don't understand what their current situation is, what they're navigating in life, what challenges they're navigating that we make them unavailable to us at that time. And that shouldn't be a yardstick to say definitely Africans are not helpful to one another. But there is more. Reflecting on this though, I do recognize so many instances in my life, in my career, where people of all backgrounds, brown, white, whatnot, have shown me incredible kindness and support. I'll give one particular example. When I was in university and I was looking for a job, I reached out to one of my former high school teachers, right? Kuku. He always supports alumni, but no reach out to him in the past 3 years. So I reached out to him and I said to him that I'm looking for an internship when I was in university. He told me, send me your CE. Within a week, I received a call from one of the biggest banks in Canada that they were offering me an internship space. I've never met these people. It was literally this connection that made it happen. And I told them I'll get back to them. Later on, I ended up taking the JP Morgan internship that I had applied for. And they asked me, would I consider coming to them full-time after I finish university? This is without ever meeting me in person through a connection. So I guess this is to say that it's a powerful reminder that yes, disappointments may arise, but there are also many instances of generosity and solidarity that transcends beyond, cultural boundaries. One of the things I really think is important to do whenever any controversial topic like this occurs, I love to get a sense of the different extremes and people's perspectives on the different extremes. And one of my friends shared this with me. I'm going to share what she shared with me anonymously. Before I share it, I actually want to say, this particular person is one of the most, over the years, supportive people that I've seen in terms of trying to pull people up, trying to help other Africans. Her opinion on this, she said, every mentor or senior Nigerian person I have reached out to or connected to when I was upcoming my career as either 1, try to sleep with me, 2, pick my brains to test with their ideas, be available but not impactful. Meaning, yes, they will give their time, yes, but that's it. What people need is sponsorship, mentors, advocates who can open doors for them. But there has to be something in it for me to spend time with someone. I turn down mentees now. People ask a billion questions, but take no action. They want you to do all the work for them. They want to leverage your time, energy, self-development to leapfrog, but don't want to put in the same level of investment in time you did. I think this is very powerful. I think firstly from an educational standpoint to understand why, I think at least as a female sometimes in these spaces, when you are trying to reach out to people for their time to develop yourself, people are trying to sleep with you. Like that is insane, right? Like how do we build our communities if it's on that level that we're looking at? I think that's actually quite sick, to be honest. And I think on the other part where she mentions about a lot of people asking a lot of questions, but actually they're not using that knowledge and actually not making it actionable. I get it from that side of, I'm not going to waste my time putting in so much effort and people are not even using the knowledge and the impact into them for something greater. They're not also putting in the work themselves. I think a lot of times people that are higher ups are more inclined to pull you up when they see you are putting in the work, right? I think that's something for those that are looking to reach out to people that are more senior in their workplace, that what work are you doing? Like not just imagine, I think to give people credit, imagine there's one black VP or MD in your company and there are about 20 black people in that company and every single one of them is reach out to this one person. It can be overwhelming. So I guess my point to say, give grace again to understand that some people just don't have the capacity to handle all your questions and it might seem sad or unfair, but that's just the reality of life. Before I go into the comments that people made in the Travel to Nigeria Instagram page, also an experience that my uncle shared with me with regards to how he approached mentees and such. I think it's important to let those that are looking for people into their spaces to understand that no one is coming to save you, right? I think it's important, yes, you do the work yourself. You know what I mean? Tap into these spaces. A lot of companies have communities and spaces, specifically particular group, whether it's African, Caribbean groups or whatnot. Be active in those spaces, put in the work in those spaces, and naturally you build networks, and naturally those people will be willing to give. So let's jump into some of the questions on the Instagram, Instagram page. Someone left a comment. She said, Tola Tino said, so just because you're black and I'm black, I should come and meet you. I don't know you from anywhere. You could be a fraudster or an alakoba for all I know. Even when you know people don't move like that, what happens to having to earn someone's trust and prove that you can be trusted? You people have come again with all your unrealistic expectations and sense of entitlement. I think this is a valid point. It's that not everyone is just going to open their doors to you simply because of the color of their skin. You yourself have to build that trust to enable people to feel comfortable to do that. And again, it can be because of people's past experiences, right? A lot of people have helped people in the past and have been burned, so they're resistant to helping again. And I think one should understand that. So I think this is a great perspective to think about, why is somebody not being so helpful? What is the reason behind it? The real VMP left us comment. This mentality of help and help should stop. If you qualify for the job, you would get it. I understand what he's saying here. You have to do the work, but I don't believe that if you qualify for the job, you get it. I think we live in a world where now, people put up job descriptions, companies put up job descriptions on LinkedIn, but most of these jobs are already taken through their own networks or through internal employees that have already taken the job. It's simply a legal requirement for many of these companies to post their jobs publicly, but they probably found someone they know that has the job. So networks, it's important. Saying do a good job is not good enough in this day and age. You can be an A-star employee or person. Someone that is C-star but has the connections will beat you every single time, in my opinion. I actually like to comment on that. I'll share this comment with you, which is true. I have an uncle who was one of the few Black top managers at a prominent oil servicing company. He made it a priority. I spoke to you once, and he made it a priority to actively promote mid to high performers within his own community, meaning Nigerians in his own community, viewing it as a personal duty actually, so that he can uplift those facing systemic disadvantages. And I believe that there's merit in this approach. So there is a duty, even though we can't enforce the duty of all Black, Nigerian or African people to do this, but I think those in top leadership have a duty, in my opinion, to pull their own people up, right? Because we all know that systemic racism is real, right? So if there are not people at the top advocating the poor at the bottom, we're going to be complaining about this, the fact that there's no representation for us in all industries forever and ever and ever. So I think those at the top have the power to change that. So I think a lot of people could incorporate what my uncle did. He even said it to me. He said, I'm not going to bother pulling A-star Caucasian people because I know the other people are pulling them up. They have other advocates that are pulling them up, but I know no one's going to pull up my people, right? So someone's reserved for that. Adam Moscow, 2007, left us comment. I don't blame them. A friend of mine helped his fellow come and work in the same company but later, the person who brought him into the company became his enemy. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I think, again, this is, a lesson for people out there. When people pull you up, when people advocate for you, it's your duty to be a decent human being. It's not a competition. There's not water for all of us in the ocean to take water from. Yeah, so I could imagine, again, someone's feelings about saying, you know what, I'm not going to pull up anybody. Last person I pulled up started making me their enemy, started treating me whatnot, understandably, right? But again, I would also say not everyone behaves like that. Some people will actually see the value you brought to their lives and pay that forward too. This final comment I'll drop here from SE_GE Lola. I understand what he's talking about. Here's my opinion about this. Many are being burned by the very people they tried to help in the past. Many Nigerians don't give you the whole truth about what they are about. It's difficult to trust people unless you're sure they are who they really say they are. Many people don't want to be complicit with anything shady, especially when it comes to their employer. As a Black African in a leadership position, you have to be above board with everything you do. Many are looking for the slight opportunity to pull you down, as they don't want you to get up there anyway. Regardless, I believe we should take opportunities to mentor young Nigerians. No one can hire anyone into this position by themselves anyway. We can always guide people on what certifications, internships, and conferences that may be helpful. We could recommend appropriate recruiters for them and provide advice on how to navigate the process. I think this is excellent in terms of actionable ways people can help. Not everything is you have to sit down with them for hours on end, but just sharing with people do's and don'ts, key things, directing them in the right direction, right? I think those are actionable things that can really help to people. deep. I really would love to hear your thoughts. I've been speaking a lot. Like, where do you stand on this notion of Africans don't help Africans? People say, look at Indians. People say, look at Chinese. Look at the Jews, Italians. People are raiding together. The communities are building legacies. You know, look at Pakistanis, Indians in the UK. Look at what they're doing. I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not you believe this notion is true or not, generally. And what do you think can be done by both parties? Both, you know, the people at the top, Black top management, and also those below that are trying to get up there. What advice do you have for both people? I look forward to your comments in the comment section below. I thank you guys for engaging as always. I'm sure you do. If you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, let me know. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you in the comments and on my next video. Bye.